Here we go into the first game of our best of 5 set between an ambitious crossover on red and Pomelos on blue. First off, for an ambitious crossover, we have the Wretched Egg, Watch a Goldfish, left side light carronade, right side Gatling gun. Their ally, the Alien Dragonfly, dual Gatlings, dual Watches. And for their opponents, the Pomelos, we have Penn Island, Gatling Hwacha Shrike, similar to the Alien Dragonfly. And finally, their ally, the only ship kitted out for long range, it's the Victor Strom. Gatling Banshee on the lower deck, paired with, looks like Lumberjack, Minotaur, and a rear Harpoon. Nobody's gonna bait Sunstrom into into playing a close range ship. Absolutely not. Looks like these three of the ships at least not too worried about the explosive damage nerf on that Hwacha. The disable capability of the weapon still has been preserved, so the primary difference now is that it's going to take these Hwacha-based ships a lot longer to kill a target, and as we do have teams calling another pause, even though they already called one in the lobby, so how about those sports? How about that, the game with the baseball? The old pigskin. And what's a baseball team? The Mariners. How are those Mariners doing? Okay, so while we're paused, despite we are about roughly 30 seconds into the game before the pause was called. Already, red team, the ambitious crossover Thrall Boys over here, already on their way to blue's spawn. If I switch here, we try to check visibility for blue team. Looks like red is the ambitious crossover not actually spotted, so despite the fact, I mean, it's hard to tell based on how the spotting works in this game. It's very spotty, as you might say. The detection, how ships will sometimes render on some players' screens, but not other players' screens, despite the fact that the ship positions are the same. But from spectator here, it appears that red team is still concealed. And once this pause, we do see a ready going up for both teams. So now, here comes crossover. Ready to pounce. Moving through this cloud. And yeah, blue definitely does not seem aware, because they are pushing into red spawn zone. Victor Strom, the Judgment, looking for some sniper lanes here. As crossover continues moving west, looking for Shrike, scouting as well, moving forward. So far, no spots, so Judgment, Sunstrom a little bit confused, not quite sure where red team is going to be coming from. As Goldfish is now visible, spots going down, both teams. The Pomelos are now aware of ambitious crossover's plans here, but Penn Island is very far away. And Alien Dragonfly already going to be making a connection here. Minotaur shot, not enough to dissuade the Gatling gun. Watch it coming out as well, as the Wretched Egg in tow, going to dual focus to support their ally. Alien Dragonfly backing away, letting Wretched Egg take some of the fire. Now switching focus to Penn. I almost said it. Penn Island. A good Hwacha connection. Penn Island almost completely disabled, and there's the first armor break. So a little bit of Hwacha damage, but not enough to take him down. Engine still suppressed, gun suppressed as well. Armor going to go down again, but the Hwacha is fired, and I don't think Alien Dragonfly in a position to switch sides, so no more follow-up damage. Instead, opting to use left side Hwacha on the Victor Strom, deciding that these Minotaur shots from the Blue Judgment are impeding its movement. So now red is slightly disengaged. Dragonfly flying up, trying to get out of that Minotaur fire. Wretched Egg keeping the Pen Island in check as now the Gatling gun tries to take down the Goldfish's front Quancha. But they're a little bit far, so the shots go wide. Pen Island unable to get the Gatling to stable, but instead goes for a ram on Alien Dragonfly, knocking out the balloon, which was damaged by the Strom's Lumberjack, forcing Wretched Egg to move in, act as a deterrent for the Pen Island, but now they're being dual focused by Pen and Victor Strom. Has to pull that hydrogen, rise up. Alien Dragonfly now on their own for a few more seconds. And finally a decent Hwacha connection from Pen Island. Taking down the right side of the Dragonfly as Wretched Egg ducks down again. What looked like a really strong start of this fight for Red Team is it's starting to fall apart a little bit because Victor Strom, the elements of surprise eventually wore off, and Red Team was not able to do enough damage, so now the Strom's superior firepower and sustained capabilities with the Minotaur and the Lumberjack coming into play here. Alien Dragonfly particularly hurting with that damaged balloon, and they're going to burn it out as they hydrogen up. More Lumberjack shots moving in. Okay, there's armor break on the Alien Dragonfly. I believe Wretched Egg's Hwacha is disabled, so they can't do anything about the Pen Island just yet. So Alien Dragonfly going to be forced to run away. But Victor Strom has those long-range weapons. Armor and the Alien Dragonfly having trouble. Wretched Egg forced to move in to try to distract the Judgment so they don't kill their ally, losing their own armor in the process. But Strom not really interested in the Goldfish just yet, instead opting to focus this strike. They want to get this kill. Dragonfly's doing what they can. They're taking a lot of damage too, but they do survive, so Alien Dragonfly gets away. Wretched Egg proving to be a little annoying for this Blue Judgment. And potentially dual focus on Pen Island. Oh, this could be it. Hwacha, yeah. Running straight through that Hwacha barrage, taking all that damage. Wretched Egg might have to escape now, as you see taking down the engines of the Pen Island. A few light carronade shots as well, able to take down the armor, but they're going to try to escape, and they are unable to fly over the gun, instead hitting it and dying. That's 2 points on the board for the Pomelos. Really seemed like at the start of that fight, Red had a good angle. The ambitious crossover had a great angle on the Judgment. Pen Island was forward from their position, scouting into Red's spawn. They were not ready to react to the initial volley from crossover, but just unable to really follow up. I don't know if the coordination just wasn't there during that fight, or if this is maybe a result of that reduced explosive damage on the Hwacha, since Red Team is running a very Hwacha-dependent build. I was talking about that, I can't even remember if it was at the start of the game or before the game when we were in the lobby, but the Hwacha nerf reduces the gun's kill power pretty significantly, cutting it in half. So if you are... The blue team have a Hwacha here, but they also have the Strom, which has old non-Hwacha weapons, which I imagine is what the Pomelos are going to be relying primarily on for their kill power. And because Red Team is bringing 2 Hwacha-based loadouts, they do not have that liberty. And it just means that their piloting has to be that much more perfect. As we see them do take the south spawn here. Strom already looking in that direction, but I think the ships are a little bit far. We do see a spot going down on the Judgment. Red ships are rendering on the screen, so both teams should be aware of their positions here. And this is not a great attack angle. We'll see how quickly Victor Stromstorm is able to get their guns into effect as Wretched Egg moves in for the Penn Island. Red Shrike gets the rear of the Stromstrom. Now, this is a good flank by the Shrike, and Victor Stromstrom was not able to do a lot of long-range damage. Penn Island getting clipped into the terrain by the Goldfish, and now the tables have turned. Both the red ships moving in on the Blue Judgment, with this fight taking place on red side of the map, slightly off center, but it does mean that the Blue Shrike, when they spawn back in, they're going to have a tight window if they do want to actually save this Judgment. And this little interaction here will actually be a good test of the Hwacha's new killing power. We have two Hwacha Gatling and a Hwacha Light Carronade. Dual focusing in on target. We'll see how long it takes to actually kill them. As you see, about 15% damage. There's another 10%. Light Carronade whittling around away the balloon. Once the Stromstorm starts colliding with terrain, they will die much more quickly. And I think they're actually piloting into the terrain to try to end this in a more timely fashion. But boy, does that Hwacha not do a lot of damage to the exposed Judgment Hall. Here goes another 23% damage. Penn Island has spawned in and has taken the farmost spawn, so Pomelos definitely giving up this kill for sure. Next armor break should do it. Down goes the Judgment. And already a spot in the Wretched Egg. Never mind. That was just the last spot disappearing. So I'm looking at the clock. We got 10 minutes remaining. I'm not sure if the referee added time to compensate for the pause. So it might be 12 minutes. But nonetheless, kind of a slow-paced game. Penn Island also spawning very far away. So the Pomelos clearly want to use this long-range sniping, utilize the sniping arsenal of the Judgment. In this position in the corner of the map, gives them a lot more time to utilize those long-range guns. As opposed to earlier, it took place more in center map, and we already see spots coming out. I'm going to switch over to the red side so we can see some of those Minotaur hits. Red's moving for cover. I believe this is the A4 Arched Mountain. Similar to the one in Northern Fjord. So, going to be utilizing this for cover. Because Pomelos did get the first kill of the match in the event that the game does go to a tie. Or the timer expires with a tied score. Pomelos will be declared the victor. So at some point, the impetus is going to be on red to actually make this charge, but it's going to be very difficult because blue has a lot of space to work with. Pomelos have actually moved forward a little bit from their position. Okay, and I'm being informed by the referee that the timer is accurate here. He did pause it. So 8 minutes left. Red team charging in. Wretched Egg, first target, dual Hwacha connection on the Victor Stromstrom. Stromstrom's guns totally locked down. Penn Island moves in to connect, taking down the Hwacha of the Wretched Egg. But again, not a lot of permanent follow-up with just the Hwacha. As Alien Dragonfly hits the Penn Island. Victor Stromstrom, lumberjack shots. Wretched Egg's balloon is down, so they switch focus to the Shrike. And once this lumberjack starts coming into effect, this is where things started going badly for the Ambitious crossover in the previous engagement. As now the Alien Dragonfly stuck with a half-health balloon, medium altitude, Stromstrom backing up, trying to keep their guns in arc. Good Hwacha connection. Lumberjack and Banshee do go down. Not sure which gun is up, but Penn Island's Hwacha definitely is. And Wretched Egg whiffing a lot of that, their own Hwacha. As Victor Stromstorm continuing to back up to try to provide some distance for that Lumberjack arming time. Giving up on the Wretched Egg, instead switching to the Dragonfly. Here's the dual focus. Dragonfly dropping down, trying to make it difficult for the Stromstrom to get those downward shots at medium range. Gatling on the Stromstrom. Pen Island in position. Wretched Egg not going to be able to keep this position for very long. Yeah, Lumberjacks just making this so difficult for the crossover to engage together. Oh, dual focus here. Watcher from the Pen Island. 70% permanent health is gone on the Goldfish. The Lumberjack shots are connecting. Balloon is down. Armor is not going to last long. Another Banshee shot will take them down, and that's a 3rd point for an ambitious crossover. Alien Dragonfly, no way they're going to be able to win this fight. So, gonna have to disengage. Try to make it back to one of the red spawn points on the map. However, big problem here, not just the score, but the timer slowly ticking away. With only 5 minutes left on the clock to win the next 2 fights, that's a big ask. You know, I'm not sure how significantly the Goldfish is prioritizing those sidelight carronades, but I feel like they definitely need to get some balloon control to contest this Lumberjack from the Judgment. It's just so powerful, and because the Hwacha, the killing power has been reduced and the engagements just take place over longer periods of time, it just gives more opportunities for that Lumberjack to get rebuilt and start doing that balloon damage. Because generally speaking, balloon is a high health weapon, and it takes, or a high health component. It takes a very long time to rebuild it, to repair it, all the way back to full health. So Lumberjack is able to keep a target suppressed very well, as opposed to like a Hwacha that you can deal with by pre-building weapons, that sort of thing. Balloon, you can't really do it. It just has Lumberjack. The balloon popping weapons like Lumberjack or Carronade have greater sustained capability in long, drawn-out fights. And that's what the Hwacha nerf seems to be providing here. As now the Wretched Egg does finally get a balloon pop on Judgment. Maybe they heard me speaking into the microphone, but unfortunately for them, Wretched Egg's ally does go down in the Shrike duel. And it seems like Goldfish maybe wants to disengage. I think this game might be done here. They have 2 engines down. Main engine's still up and it's buffed, so they're running. But again, the time, they have so little time left in disengaging like this. They are leading. Pen Island is chasing to red spawn, so the red Shrike is not too far away. So if Goldfish is able to turn around, we might be able to see a dual focus from crossover. But I just don't know if it's going to be fast enough. Stromstrom has now moved in, and Shrike's position for red team is spotted. It is known to their opponents. And yeah, wow, good Lumberjack shots through the clouds from the Stromstrom, taking down Shrike's balloon. Anything that delays their attack is very good for crossover. Pen Island moving in. Wretched Egg moving in as well. Looks like target. Are they going to try dual focus to Pen Island? No, Wretched Egg going for the Judgment. Going to try to keep them locked down as Pen Island hits the Alien Dragonfly, bumping them into the ground, knocking out their armor, and a big Hwacha connection. Alien Dragonfly already almost dead. They have to be very careful not to hit any of these terrain pieces. Minotaur just pushing them around. And they're moonshining away. If the armor goes down, this is it. Hydrogen, Hwacha connection. A few shots do hit, finish them off, and that means first game going to be going for the Pomelos. It's a very Hwacha reliant strategy for ambitious crossover. Not working out here on Fernfeld. And look at the map list. Next map going to be Misty Mutiny. A tournament favorite. Everyone loves Misty Mutiny. Going into our second game here on Missy Mutiny. Red team, this time the Pomelos, once bringing the Penn Island dual gas, dual watches. Their ally, the Victor Strom, a little bit different. This time with the Lumberjack on the front, Gatling light flak downstairs. It looks like a Nemesis on the right side. For their opponents, an ambitious crossover. We have the Akihabara Sunday with the left side dual Artemis, front Gatling, right side Gatling mortar, excuse me. And then their ally is the Gatling Hwacha Alien Dragonfly. So there were a few other balance changes in the latest patch 2.0.13. One of those is a Junker mobility buff. I believe it's the vertical speed and vertical acceleration. With vertical acceleration a little less than doubled, and a slight top off to the vertical top speed as well. So this gives the Junker much better up-down mobility, which was one of its primary weaknesses, especially compared to other sniping-based ships like the Mobula. And we do see another pause going down. Really testingers here on the stream. And that's definitely one of the factors that there was a point where Junker just dominated the game. There was a team by the name of the Mandarins who ran a double Junker team composition. This was back in late 2013, then early half of 2014. I think they retired after the Sky League, which was in April. But they ran a double Junker, dual Artemis Hades with Gatling mortar. They were pretty much untouchable. They dominated everyone. Like you think Storm Riders are good. It was that level of dominance from a much smaller group of players. And what really ended the Junker's reign of terror, there were a lot of other teams. It's not just the Mandarins, but a lot of teams at that point started bringing Junker over the Pyramidion just for its dual long-range, close-range setups as well as improved close-range mobility. But then the Mobula was added to the game, and the Mobula's up-down verticality just along with the the weapons that are spread out on the profile just gave it such a huge advantage in sniper duels versus the Junker. And so Junker kind of fell out of play for a while. By a while, let's say like 3 or 4 years. And that's why now we're seeing it being buffed back up, given a little bit of extra vertical acceleration, so it can compete with some of those ships like the Mobula, Judgment to some extent, Corsair as well. And what the blue team has done here is they've actually gone all the way around the southern continent on this map, which I'm not quite sure what they're really accomplishing, because they're spotted basically immediately. They're still they've went from E5 or E3 to B3, but they're still roughly the same distance from enemy team because Pomelos have taken a position on the north side of the map, so they're like left-right positioned. Maybe there's some like more advantageous terrain here on the west. I'm not quite sure. But it seems like a lot of work that didn't actually accomplish much. And now Strom already engaging Lumberjack on the Akihabara Sunday, gotten them locked down behind terrain. Statue buddy here. Look at that. They've got a they've got a pewter bodyguard. An alien dragonfly holding up at a little bit higher altitude position, ready to do something. I'm not sure Akihabara Sunday is running. They dashing away from the statue, going somewhere else. Are they? Can you go over this? They're just doing stuff for fun now. I don't think any of this is actually that useful, but they've escaped. They're now back where they started. So that was a fun excursion to the west side of the map. Red team is chasing the Junker, so they've given Alien Dragonfly their rear. And somehow this has turned into, somehow inexplicably, this has turned into a flank for ambitious crossovers. Gatling now hitting the Victor Strom. Dual Gats, Penn Island here. Dragonfly dodging. Look at that fast moonshine. Fair and balanced ship. As the Akihabara Sunday moves in with those dual Artemis, hitting the Penn Island. Only taking down one engine, but keeping the Shrike engaged so that the Alien Dragonfly can get the rear of the Strom, and Red Judgment fully disabled. Penn Island taking permanent damage from the Artemis. That front Gatling proving very useful for the Gatling dual Artemis, doing a great job locking down this Shrike. And I think that's going to be a kill. Yes, Artemis able to finish him off. This is reminiscent almost of like Gatling Artemis-based Pyramidian builds, which have been used against these kind of speedier Hwacha-based ships in the past before the Pyramidian was obsoleted. Used to be a very good loadout against the Hwacha Goldfish. And now seeing it here, Judgment locked down. Artemis shots picking away at the Strom, and that's the second point. And now blue team has center map control. We'll see where the Pomelos do decide to spawn. And the red Shrike gonna have to show the Junker a little bit more respect, because that is one of the big weaknesses of these smaller, squishier ships. Is Artemis very good at taking down engines, and once those engines go down, a ship like a Shrike is basically just dead meat in the air. They can't, if you can't move, you can't sustain through anything. That is the only way you stay alive, as red team looks like has taken a spawn to the north. Lumberjack shots moving in. Gonna want to get some Lumberjack hits on the Akihabara Sunday. Take down that balloon. Down it goes, and once they lose altitude, they're not going to be able to use that Artemis, because the gun does not have very good upward arc. So Alien Dragonfly moving in, trying to take a little bit of pressure off of their ally as the Akihabara Sunday closes the distance. Looks like target going to be the Judgment, but they're in position to dual focus with the ally on Penn Island if they choose to. Gatling hitting the Judgment, Artemis shots hitting the Penn Island. But the Penn Island is facing the Junker, so engines currently protected. And I think Akihabara Sunday is waiting for them to turn Hwacha side. As Hwacha does come out, Gatling and one engine on the Junker do go down. Dragonfly moving in to contest the Judgment. Penn Island moving in to contest the Dragonfly. Akihabara Sunday left to drift into the sea with their downed balloon. And Alien Dragonfly, oh no, what are you... Oh. Okay. Alright, that's... Akihabara Sunday gonna have to find a way to disengage. That's one of the problems with the Shrike, is it feels like a ship that doesn't belong in this game, simply due to how fast it moves around, and sometimes it can be a little squirrely to control. And sometimes you're 5 degrees away from doing something very cool, but if you don't hit that 5 degrees, you just die instantly. And we see that happen from time to time, as the Pomelos are able to tie up the score. The more straightforward charge from Ambitious Crossover didn't work quite as well as their previous two-pronged attack. That's definitely one of the downsides of the Junker that still remains, is that slow charging speed. So ideally Junker would approach from an angle that they are not being fired upon, because once that Lumberjack comes into effect from the Victor Strom, the balloon on the Junker is a very easy target, and once it goes down, they're pretty much suppressed unless their ally can like make some mean moves. As we see, blue team has spawned behind cover, and maybe gonna go for this side swap again. Moving down southern pass of the map. Probably gonna have a little bit of downtime. As Junker was spotted. So Red ship spotted as well. It looks like Crossover is still gonna go for this play, whatever they're doing. Not quite sure, to be honest. Akihabara Sunday seems like gonna be splitting up with the Shrike, or maybe just switching sides that they're charging forward. Red team is aware of the Junker's last known position, so they're slowly inching towards the south side of the map. And yeah, it does look like that blue team is going to be rounding the corner. Or are they going to be waiting here? I'm not sure. They're still moving. Really burning through this timer. And I think at this point, the Pomelos have realized that their opponents probably have switched sides already rounded that corner, so instead they're moving back towards closer to center map rather than heading straight south, because red team definitely does not want to get ambushed again. We'll see these ships peeking out again. There they are, Junker and Shrike. Should be getting spots here in about 1 second. Yep, spot down on the Judgment. Akihabara Sunday rising up. Looks like they're running for cover as well. Definitely respecting the lumberjack shots. Nemesis as well going to be contributing to that balloon damage. And I feel like we've got our statue friend here. I feel like we're back at the start of the game. Tied score 0-0. Is now both the ships are kind of, the Akihabara Sunday and Alien Dragonfly, kind of hanging on the edges of this. Excuse me. Hanging on the edges of this canyon entrance. Artemis shots moving in. Good disables on the Strom. Lumberjack is down. Penn Island looks like wants to move in on one of these targets, but just can't. Based on blue team's, the ship's positioning, they just can't find a way in. And there goes the Alien Dragonfly. Akihabara Sunday in tow. First Hwachi connection onto the Penn Island, while Akihabara Sunday engages the Gatling on the Judgment. Gatling, dual focus on the Judgment. Penn Island armor down. Artemis from the Akihabara Sunday. Alien Dragonfly lost their balloon, so they flew into a bad position here as Akihabara Sunday is left on their own. Penn Island taking big damage from those Artemis, and they go down. So already blue team, that looked like it was going to go bad there as the Alien Dragonfly was isolated from the fight, but Akihabara was able, once again, you take down those engines on the Shrike, you can kill it so quickly. It's not a very tanky ship. So once those Artemis shots start hooking in, they were able to get a fast kill before the Pomelos were able to capitalize on their power play. And now another dual focus. Victor Strom, balloon is down, armor burning, few Hwachi connections. Artemis going to pick away. And it seems like Akihabara Sunday going to be staying on the Artemis side. Oh, nope, there we go. There's some mortars. Take down that last 30% with 2 mortar shots. I haven't actually seen the Gap mortar being used in this game. I think those are some of the first mortar shots. Primarily just the Artemis has been doing enough damage. And so that's match point. Game point for Ambitious Crossover. They're reversing away. Looks like they're going to be running back to the same position. Just tugging the corners of this mountain. And because they do have the point lead, they can afford to do this. They can afford to force the Pomelos to move to their position. Okay, we're going to do this again, I suppose. So they're splitting up now to go for, again, this is just like a VHS that keeps rewinding itself, going for a flank play. But this time red team is not quite far enough east for the flank to really work that well. We'll see how quickly Akihabara is able to reposition. as Alien Dragonfly is already spotted. And Alien Dragonfly, I don't... assuming they're aware of what's happening, and depending on what they want to do, they could try to escape through that same southern pass if they decide the Akihabara is not quite in position, and I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit far. Akihabara Sunday. Weep City Junker is able to clear the cliffs. They're moving in, but the Junker's not very fast. So Alien Dragonfly, it seems like, has decided to commit. Penn Island moving forward. I would like to see Alien Dragonfly utilize more of this terrain to try to zone out the long-range shots from the Victor Strom, but they've survived long enough that the Akihabara Sunday is hitting the Victor Strom, and Penn Island taking a lot of damage from the Alien Dragonfly as well. I think maybe Artemis shots, I'm not quite sure, from the Junker. And oh no, dual focus. Alien Dragonfly just gets deleted as Victor Strom able to move their guns into range. Akihabara Sunday has proven to be very effective against the Shrike, but the Gatling Artemis not able to do enough damage to stop the Judgment. But Shrike dies. Shrike was caught a little too much damage from the beginning of the fight, so Junker was able to just finish them off with one armor break before the Judgment was able to really unload their arsenal. And that means the Ambitious Crossover are going to be tying up the set count 1-1. There we go. Game 3 between an Ambitious Crossover and the Pomelos. First off, for red side, we have the Akihabara Sunday. Dual Artemis on the left, Gatling and Gatling Mortar on the right. Their ally, the Alien Dragonfly, bringing dual Gats, dual Watches. Their opponents, return of the Victor Strom, Lumberjack, Minotaur, Artemis, and Mercury, with their ally, the Penn Island, with dual Gats and dual Watches. So, Victor Strom, A, already being spotted by the Alien Dragonfly. B, they're kitted out for extremely long range here. No Gatling nonsense. They have Mercury Artemis on the lower deck, so if they can find a nice sniping lane, find some distance to work with, they're going to utilize that to the full extent. Akihabara Sunday, in particular, being the slower of the two targets, going to have to be very careful about their positioning anytime they're in view of the opposing Judgment. This ship is... this ship's going to get nerfed. That's for damn sure. Now here we go. Ambitious Crossover, making good utilization of the clouds as well as the terrain to try to stay outside, be able to zone out those long-range guns. So they're going to want to expose themselves at the last possible second. Just like a football stadium streaker, you have a very small window of time to be able to close that distance and get on broadcast television. And unfortunately, I think Judgment is far enough back. Junker maybe... Oh, no. Is Junker actually stuck on this this pipe? And now their balloon is down. They brought impact bumpers. For I don't know who brings impact bumpers, but Junker... That was a little sketchy. Didn't take any permanent damage, but the balloon is very low, and blue team has taken the opportunity to move in. Lumberjack keeping the Akihabara Sunday suppressed. Really, really unfortunate for red team. There's terrain damage, non-clipping pipe, watch a connection. Not going to be able to get the kill just yet. Impact bumper is actually keeping them alive in this situation. As Penn Island, I think, maybe wanted to go for the ram, but seeing the Alien Dragonfly move in, has decided to respect them. Victor Strom able to get the kill from medium range. And now the Alien Dragonfly left all alone, gonna try to disengage with the Moonshine. Guns are down. One engine is down. They're rising up. They might be able to escape here. We'll see how much permanent damage they do take. So far, Armor's doing okay. Never mind, Armor's gone. Minotaur shots connect. I think they're going to be able to get away. Not too much permanent damage, as they're able to duck behind the wall. And Junker has spawned back in. Sunstorm bringing Tar as well. A lot of Well, hi, welcome to my pub lobby stream. I hopped into this game and I think these guys joined during the last sale. We see Gurish using impact bumpers, the noob special as we call it. And blue team has been split up, but across the sign here, as Alien Dragonfly hits the rear of Victor Stromstrom, taking the attention of the Penn Island, but no, they reverse back. They see the Junker coming, and Junker's able to close the distance, but not before they take some Hwacha connections. Looks like one Artemis boat. The Gatlings are down. Lumberjack shots taking down the Junker's balloon. So Junker already locked down, but Alien Dragonfly is here to do the same to the Judgment. As I believe Incendiary Gatling setting the whole armor of the Judgment on fire. That hull's probably going to burn down pretty quick, but I don't know if the, let's see, how much follow-up damage Junker is going to be able to do. Very fast rebuilds on the Judgment as well. The window for permanent damage has thus far been very low. Penn Island going to be forcing the Junker back away. Now, Victor Stromstrom's pretty close to the ground. Alien Dragonfly goes for a ram, but unfortunately, red team does not really have any balloon damage weapons to really capitalize on that low position. And yeah, once Victor Stromstrom's able to get their Mercury Art back into arc, the Junker just gets deleted. So that's 2 points on the board for the Pomelos. Now Alien Dragonfly once again forced into a situation where they have to try to disengage, outmaneuver both the opposing Shrike and the long-range fire from these sniper weapons. Minotaur making it very difficult. And I think that might have been the wrong direction to go. We'll see. I think they might have been able to sneak behind the wall and zone out those long-range shots. But now rising into open air, they're going to be taking Lumberjack Minotaur almost immediately. Balloon goes down. They're moonshining away. Penn Island with a partial connection with the Hwacha. Definitely not out of the woods just yet, as you do see the armor going down. Balloon's still very low. Balloon is actually going to help them stay alive by allowing them to drop behind terrain. But I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Already 40% health is gone. Got to keep moonshining, friend. Junker's not going to be coming to help, so this is all on the Alien Dragonfly to get away. And is Lumberjack going to connect? No. Yes. But they're able to fly. They're able to scale over the wall. Boy, this is like one of those Hollywood chase sequences that just doesn't end. It just is. It's unnecessarily long. Lumberjack's still in arc here, so they have not. Trek has not managed to disengage. Akihabara Sunday, we're going to take a look at them. They're just kind of just hanging out up here. And I think Red Shrike does finally disengage. And Spot will probably disappear in a second. Yeah, there we go. No spots. Now, they need to find a way to get back to the north side of the map, meet up with Akihabara Sunday. Shrike's running to Canada. They need to not get spotted. I think there might be a spot here. Just Judgment might catch a glimpse of the Shrike, but they don't get a spot. And looks like Red Team gonna safely reunite, while Pomelos are content to hang back with their lead. This is definitely a situation where bringing that Junker, they're gonna. They definitely took a risk when they saw they had the position the crossover had behind terrain. They poked out, saw where the Pomelos were, and then calculated, okay, how far away are they, and how long will it take us to close the distance, and how much damage will we take in that period of time. And for the crossover, I guess they said they thought it would have been enough. It would have been a small enough distance that they would be able to close that distance, but unfortunately they weren't able to do so. So in the next engagement, they might play it a little bit more passively. or try to find a closer terrain piece, maybe try to bait blue team in, or go for a two-sided flank. Because again, this the Judgment just has so much forward-facing firepower that a frontal charge like that is going to be very sketchy. Both teams very far. Looks like red team is going to be splitting up. Another issue with the Junker in a forward charging scenario is that these are only broadside facing guns, and the crew loaded layout that Icarus has elected to bring is triple engineer, so they don't have the benefit of gunner stamina to try to fire the Artemis forward. And unlike most split Junker loadouts, Akihabara Sunday is electing to bring a Gatling on the front, which means they don't have a forward-facing Artemis. So during a charge, if they're not... You basically have two options as a Junker to try to close the distance. You could run straight forward, straight towards the target, which is the fastest method, and then you're relying exclusively on your front gun to get disables. Or you run in at a slight angle, which gives your left side guns arcs, but is a little bit slower. And we got some good tar here to knock the frame rate down about 7 FPS. And so here we see Akihabara Sunday moving in at a more of an angle here, so they're able to utilize that Artemis and watch a connection from the Penn Island, able to shut down the red Junker. And I think Strom has reversed into their own tar. I'm not quite sure. I think they're the only ship that brought tar this game, so have a little bit of difficulty with repairs as Akihabara Sunday rises up. Probably going to be switching focus to the Penn Island in a moment. They want to get those Artemis shots. Minotaur actually helping them out with their angle a little bit. But this was where the Junker really shined in the previous game, was locking down the Shrike. So once Akihabara Sunday is able to get those Artemis trained on the fast ship, if they're able to get this kill, then they can take control of the situation. We do see dual focus. Akihabara Sunday is still a little too low to use the Artemis. They're rising up as fast as they can. I think maybe Junker needs more vertical acceleration. I'm not sure. But there we go. Artemis are now finally in arc. Permanent damage. Look at that big hit on the Penn Island. Just smoking their health. Next armor break could finish them off. But Victor Stromstrom is rising up. The window here is very close. They need to get that Gatling back up. Gatling trained on the Penn Island, but Stromstrom moving in at point blank. Stromstrom's guns, since they elected not to bring a Gatling or a Banshee, they don't really have any close range weapons. I think just the Minotaur and then maybe some Mercury shots if the Junker happens to fall into the limited Mercury arcs. But Akihabara has decided to duck down, which is going to block most of the incoming damage. Now rising back up, currently focusing the Stromstrom. Watch it hitting the Penn Island. Stromstrom's armor is down. Penn Island, 2 engines, they're mostly disabled, and here we see permanent damage from the Artemis. One shot connecting on the Blue Judgment. Hwacha hitting the Penn Island, but Alien Dragonfly has to be careful. They're pretty low health as well, so they're going to moonshine back. Both the Shrikes in a position to die on the next armor break. Gatling hitting the Penn Island. I think that's going to be it. That's what they were looking for. And now Ambitious Crossover has the Judgment locked down. And this should be a tie score. I mean, Artemis shots pick them away. As we have 7 minutes left on the clock. Jeez, these are... I feel like it's just a constant engagement, but these fights are taking a very long time. Like, boy, if you thought Hwacha duels took a long time before, now with half explosive damage, I guess that's one of the side effects of such a change. Then Blue's team takes the center north spawn. And Alien Dragonfly going into this next fight. Alien Dragonfly, very low health. That's a pretty big liability on a Shrike. If they start taking any Gatling fire, they're going to have to disengage almost immediately. That's going to be a big problem. So we'll see. It looks like both teams are sort of heading in the same direction. Crossover taking a very, very southern movement path around the map. As the Pomelos switch directions, I think Pomelos is going to be taking a little bit of a little peek through the cave. Not going to see anything. And that's probably the reason why Crossover is taking this super far south pass. Is that this does not give away their location when they pass in front of the cave. And you see Junker actually, they pushed into the map and they're now, or pushed into the wall of the map and they're now drifting back towards center. As you can see, they're hugging the south line as close as they can. And it seems like they're going to be rewarded, as I don't believe Pomelos got any spots. So Crossover's position going to be totally unknown to their opponents. And if they want to win this fight, Crossover definitely wants the element of surprise. Well, Pomelos, they've got a pretty good position here to utilize those long-range weapons. A lot of open air. They do have this one cloud here to the port side of their position that they have to worry about a little bit. But we'll see when they're able. A lot of this is going to come down to when they get that spot. And you see Penn Island's actually moving away from their ally to try to get some more visibility. Because that initial spot is so important when you have a team that's trying to close the distance and try to disrupt your defensive formation. So Penn Island going to sit in this cloud as the Akihabara Sunday and the Alien Dragonfly just about to breach the west wall. And we'll see where they position, how they try to close this distance, and how long they're able to go without being spotted. I'm going to switch to Penn Island cam here. I don't think we have any spots. I think there's too much cloud cover in the way, so this position actually has a very, the west angle here is very vulnerable. And there's Alien Dragonfly. You see them zooming in through the cloud. We'll see how quickly the Gatling gun gets trained on them. And you have to be careful here. You know your instinct as a Shrike pilot is to zoom in, but the Junker is such a slow ship that they do risk getting dual focus. They have to be very careful with their positioning. They're trying to get the rear of Blue's formation. Akihabara Sunday closing the distance. Armor break on Penn Island, and Lumberjack is in arming time, so Junker's going to be able to keep their, I was going to say keep their balloon, but it's already down. Impact bumpers were on for a moment for funsies, I guess. Maybe they thought they were going to hit the judgment. And now Alien Dragonfly is totally locked down. So Akihabara Sunday is going to have to find an opportunity to make something happen. Artemis from the Victor Stromstrom able to finish them off. And this is probably it for the Junker as well. This ship, yeah, they're just reversing into the terrain. Not going to be able to get a fast kill unless the target's armor is already pretty low. They do have that Gatling mortar side, which I've mentioned before, but we have not been seeing the Gatling mortar come into effect very often. However, they're not going to be able to take down the Judgment armor in one clip anyways with the Gatling, so definitely no possibility of them being able to get a fast kill on the Victor. Only 2.5 minutes left on the clock, so this is brief. This is approaching the situation of being impossible for an ambitious crossover to take this game. And if the Pomelos do win, this will give them a 2-1 advantage in the set count, which will put them 1 game away from taking the tournament. So not over just yet. There'll be at least 1 game after this one, potentially 2, if crossover is able to rally on the following map, which I believe is Periton Rumble. Now here we go, Alien Dragonfly poking at the entrance, north entrance of the cave. Akihabara Sunday has managed to get position behind from the south entrance of the cave. I'm not sure if this is really gonna, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this is gonna accomplish a whole lot, because this is still a lot of distance that crossover has to, well, okay. Alien Dragonfly turns around, and because I was going to say blue team is able to zone out the Artemis of the Akihabara Sunday, but because they rounded that corner, it means the Junker actually gets to close the distance without taking any fire of their own. So now crossover has the dual focus. Dragonfly first to lose the armor. Penn Island quickly follows, and Quent Island already low. Both Shrikes very heavily damaged. Dragonfly 40% perma-hull. Penn Island has to keep their armor up as well. Dragonfly 2 engines up. It's trying to rise up. It's within the lumberjack arcs of the Victor Strom. Akihabara Sunday gets the armor break. There's the mortar finally hooking in, doing huge damage to the Judgment, but they're just barely able to get the armor back up before the last mortar connection. Is Akihabara Sunday going to be able to get another armor break on this Judgment and take control of the situation? The 2 minutes have been added to the clock at some point when I wasn't looking, so they might be able to actually take this game. It's possible. Akihabara Sunday taking a lot of damage, though. Engines are down. Strom's armor being rebuilt. It's on fire, but it's relatively healthy. Gatling Alien Dragonfly moving in. They need to get the kill on the Judgment. They can't allow the Lumberjack to take control of this situation. There's Gatling, Incendiary Gatling, 11 stacks, 17 stacks. Armor's going to go down on the Strom. Mallet hit comes in. Is it going to break? Yes. Tar not going to do anything. It's not a very good tool, but Hwacha, Alien Dragonfly trying to turn. Penn Island able to disrupt their follow-up damage, so Strom, at least for the moment, still alive as Akihabara Sunday keeps the Penn Island locked down. Both Shrikes, no armor. Artemis shot going into the balloon of the Penn Island. Victor Strom rising up, but is not facing the right way. We just need a little bit of Gatling fire to hit the Strom, take down that armor, finish them off. Either of these blue ships really, both pretty heavily damaged. Artemis shot coming in, and that might be it for the Shrike. No, armor rebuilt again. Gatling engaging. They're rising up. They're trying to get above Artemis gun arcs, and I think they have done it. But Hwacha there from the Alien Dragonfly able to pick them off, and now Victor Strom left all alone. As soon as this armor goes down, Judgment is going to die, and that's a tie score. The Gatling actually not able to finish them off, so not a tie score just yet, but I can't imagine Judgment's going to make it out of this one. They're tarring. Okay, these guys actually have to close this out. Looks like we're in overtime. I'm not quite sure. A little unclear from the referee, but here we go. Going to get this kill. And this is not... If they get this kill, they still lose. They still have to get another kill on the Shrike, which has elected to not spawn back in. So there we go. Tie game. And I guess they have 1 minute left now. Okay, they have 30 seconds to find the Shrike. Okay, a little scavenger hunt here. They're running directly to the south side of the map. I don't think I've ever seen this situation happen. They have, what, 20 seconds left to find the Shrike, and Penn Island is running. If they're not able to fire on the blue ship or spot it, I think if they spot it, overtime continues. But again, I'm not 100% clear on the overtime rules. And they're chasing. They're trying to... if they're able to get the kill within overtime, they will be able to take this game. Watch connection coming out. One engine does get low, but does not go down. And unfortunately being forced to charge at full speed They've kind of left their Junker in the lurch here. So it's just going to be Alien Dragonfly, heavily damaged, moving in, getting this kill. Gatling comes out, but unable to take down the armor. Junker descending from the mountaintops, and we have a potentially dual focus. Where are they going? They're going for Penn Island. They know Penn Island's going to be the faster kill. Armor's down. Artemis shot connects. 2 Artemis shots that are doing damage. Penn Island's almost dead. They just need 1 Artemis shot. An ambitious crossover against all odds is actually able to take down their opponents, the Pomelos, in overtime, which means that they take the set advantage 2-1. That was as close as the game could be. I'm honestly kind of astounded that they were able to they're able to take that game. Going to our 4th and potentially final game of the set. Just a clarification of what happened at the end of the last game. The ambitious crossover were able to get the kill, but according to the referee, and I checked the video afterwards as well, the kill took place after the 3-minute overtime had expired by roughly 3 seconds after the timer. So our referee has ruled the game in the favor of the Pomelos, not an ambitious crossover, because crossover did not get the kill within the time limit. So that means Pomelos are currently on set point here with a 2-1 lead on Periton. And quickly looking at these loadouts here, we have the Reborn, which is a Mobula, Mine Launcher, Hades, Artemis, Banshee, Gatling, big deck, podded by Sawdust Bucket here. Here's a ship we don't see that often, with 2 Hwachas, a Gatling, a Hwacha, and a heavy carronade. Akihabara Sunday, which is currently moving in on the Reborn and takes a big mine hit. As Lonely Spades Club, I guess we'll do blue ship loadouts in a minute here. Because Lonely Spades Club looks like they're hurting here, trying to get away from this Hwacha Galleon, excuse me, is the Akihabara Sunday, which I assume is using the Gatling Artemis. We can quickly look at these loadouts. Yeah, it's Gatling Dual Artemis with a Gat Mortar, and then Lonely Spades Club with Carronade Artemis. And they might be dying here, yeah, to Red Team. So some interesting team loadouts from both sides. I do believe this Periton Rumble is one of the maps that, because it has such close quarters capability and there's the ability to kind of move around the map undetected, we do see a lot of less common ships. We've seen Double Pyramidion, Junker as well, and definitely the Mobula. All strong picks on this map. I feel like this is probably the worst Judgment map out of all of them, just because there are so many low corridors to move through that the Judgment can't really take advantage of, and that other ships can abuse to really close the distance. As now we see Akihabara Sunday rising up. They're trying to stay above the Galleon's gun arcs while also keeping downward arcs on the Reborn. Reborn shoot venting down. There's still going to be an arc to the Akihabara Sunday, but Junker forced away by the approach of the big deck. And Lonely Space Club moves in as well, losing Artemis to the Hwacha as well as the Barking Dog. But they do take down the balloon of the Galleon with that carronade, so Galleon potentially knocked out of the fight. Lonely Spades Club taking permanent damage from the Reborn. Mine a little too short. Next one does hit. Turns their guns into arc on the Reborn though. And Akihabara Sunday having a lot of difficulty moving in. But the Gatling is still in range. I'm just gonna Artemis shots connecting as well. Carronade taking down the balloon. Reborn, Pyramid might be able to get a kill here if they can ram the ship as it falls. Let's see how quickly balloon is up. So unfortunately, Reborn able to stay in the air. The trajectory just doesn't quite line up. If the balloon was down for 1 or 2 more seconds, they might have been able to get that ram. But instead, Pyramidion dropping out of the fight. Akihabara Sunday about to get rammed by the Junker, by the Galleon, excuse me. Balloon goes down. I don't know. They're barely going to be able to clear this terrain. But they take more Hwacha barrage. Armor stays up, but all their other components are down as the Lonely Space Club moves in behind the Reborn. Reborn is running. They're trying to get the hell away from this Pyramidion. Akihabara Sunday's bumping them up Akihabara Sunday, unfortunately, their balloon was so low that they just knocked it back out, so not able to really follow up and get an uppercut onto the Mobula, but instead will reposition behind the Galleon. This is not a good side for them to be on either, because the big deck does have heavy carronade on that right side there. And Akihabara Sunday's balloon does go down. Lonely Spades loses their armor Hwacha connection from the big deck. Not a great ram. And that's a quick 2 points on the board for the Pomelos. Now Akihabara Sunday needs to find a way to get out of this fight. That is one of the tricky thing to do when you're in a junker. Older Rangers stayed up. Hwacha's only knocked out the guns, but the Gatling's gonna take down the armor, and the balloon's taking a lot of fire damage as well. So yeah, that's gonna be it. That was a big Artemis or light flak or something, some type of explosive weapon. Now they have 3 points, and this is potentially a tournament-ending set for the Pomelos, or excuse me, for the ambitious crossover. If Pomelos win this, they will be your SCS champions, and they're on to a good start. Reborn at about half health from that fight. There's something's happening here. I don't like it one bit, whatever they were doing. Crossover taking a far spawn. And we'll see the combination of the mines plus the wide denial range of the Hwachas has been making it very difficult for the blue ships to actually be able to close the distance and utilize those close range guns. Like a mine launcher is tough enough on its own, but then you have a Galleon there. Just like any place that would be safe from the mines is instead Hwacha kill range, and vice versa. So I'm actually kind of like this team composition that the Pomelos are bringing. I would like to see maybe a little bit more concealed map movement from blue, as we've been seeing a lot of kind of frontal charges, which is really not what you want to do against a mine launcher. However, Reborn's position here, they are hugging the borders of the map fairly tightly. I just think that if the crossover could play a little bit more patiently, they could maybe find a favorable angle rather than just committing to the first opportunity that they get. And we see spots going down on Pyramidion. I don't think they're going to commit to this one because they are pretty far away. They do back out. Where is blue team going to go? Big deck's moving forward. Trying to get a second angle for spots. Spot in the Mobula is down. I wonder if Galleon maybe going to try to hide. I don't know. It's a big ship with a big deck, so I don't know how how well they actually would be able to hide even if they tried. As blue team splits up, so okay, what they were doing before wasn't working. I feel like this is kind of the Glowwater Thrall's MO, is if whatever like map specific strategy they want to try doesn't work, they instead just go for they just go for the widest possible flank and throw it to the wind, see if that works. And that's what we're seeing here. Lonely Spades Club already spotted. And you can see based on the angle that the blue Akihabara is taking, Pomelos, they've played against these guys enough times that they should know what's happening. They should know what they should be expecting. So Reborn's actually backing up. We'll see if they turn a bit. Big Deck is in position to kind of cover both angles. That is one of the advantages of the Galleon versus the Judgment, and there are not many. Judgment is a very strong ship, but Galleon can more easily cover approaches from two completely opposite directions. As now Reborn spotted, they see the Junker, so they're running. Junker coming up from behind. Lonely Spades Club is moving in as well. So Reborn totally facing the wrong direction. They did not respond well to this rear approach. They're going to try to find an opportunity to turn around. We'll see how well the big deck is able to keep them at bay. Akihabara Sunday running in. Big deck trying to drop down to block them, but unable to do so, hitting terrain instead. Lonely Spades Club moving in. Big mine hit, knocking them in the wrong direction. I think they're just going to switch focus to the Galleon maybe, as Akihabara Sunday picks up the Mobula. No, Lonely Space Club with 2 engines down, taking damage from the big deck, taking the big damage. Half the health of the Space Club is gone. Pyramidion is hurting. Akihabara Sunday has to make something happen because their Pyramidion is going to be out of commission for a period of time here. There's another armor break. Watch you going to be able to maybe finish them off. Yes, it does. I think they tapped the terrain as well. And now Akihabara Sunday armor is down on the Reborn, but they take Hwacha Barrage. Mortar goes down, Gatling goes down, Balloon is down on the Junker. I don't think they're going to be able to get this kill. I think this will be the 5th and final point for the Pomelos as the mine knocks them downwards. And Artemis Shot finishes them off. That means Pomelos, with a 3-1 set count over their opponents, are your SCS number 215 champions. Those are some action as my voice dissipates into the wind. So those are some action-packed games. I'm not sure if I could have handled the 5th game personally, but congratulations to Red Team.